All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to You Lead Africa. This is powered by You Lead Africa. My name is Solomon James, and I'll be your anchor person for today. This module is on becoming a better me. We had a great time last week, and we are continuing today with developing capacity for tomorrow. Developing capacity. This excites me, and I might be preaching a bit. If you feel led, I'll take some offering. That's what I told those young man. Okay, but I'm so excited. Even the topic, the title excites me. Developing capacity for tomorrow. Most of what we are trying to do is basically not for today, but it's for tomorrow. So you've got to develop capacity. For some of us, our muscles, like this guy, is that 6-pack or 3? I don't know. I just have 1 pack, and I'm really working out to probably be a part of those who have 6-packs. 6-packs don't just jump on you. You do not pray 6-pack into your life. You develop 6-packs. You develop 6-pack. Who is into bodybuilding? Probably I can. I can. Oh, Honorable, you are the chief usher. Okay, don't worry. You collect it now, so that probably I can partner with you, so that let's build some pack. I really want to build packs, but you see, you don't pray it. You don't wish for pack. You develop it. You develop it in the gym. You develop it in sweat. You develop it in pains. You develop it in melody. What are you a witness to? You develop it in pains. You develop it in stretching yourself. You don't see this kind of body physique without a stretch. So if you truly want to get to where you want to go, I'm just trying to condition your mind that you should be ready for a stretch. Now, this is coming to my head right now, but part of what You Lead is trying to do is to raise what I call stretch mark ambassadors. Stretch mark ambassadors. You've got to stretch yourself. Have you seen ladies with stretch mark? It looks like something you are using Google Map to watch. Okay, but now we are not, when we talk about stretch mark, it's like you've got to stretch yourself to achieve your dream. So developing capacity for tomorrow is something that is critical. Is a critical ingredient for us to understand and position ourselves if we truly believe in our tomorrow. The things you do today are pointers to how you believe in your tomorrow. So developing capacity for tomorrow. Let's begin. Now, let me say here that there is a law, okay? I call it a law of capacity. Every living thing grows, okay? But some can grow functional, some can grow dysfunctional. Becoming a better me simply means you must grow. There is capacity enhancement that is needed and is very important for you to get to your goal. Let me say I can pace up on this so I can take a lot of your questions also. So let's move here. Now, I grew up, like I said, I grew up in Ajegule, and I grew up in the slums, hawking and having those phases of my life. I understand life is in phases, but one of the things I like about this phase of my life, and for some of us looking at the picture, you can resonate, especially guys. You have done this canoe with your paper. You can tear your exercise books and you do this floating boat. Especially rainy season, you drop it in the water. You even begin to follow it. You follow it as it's flowing, probably through the gutters, through the canals, wherever stream. You put it and you are following it. It's much more like following your dream. So I mean, it's just looking at this, it's creating memories in me of the many that I did. I did a whole lot of this. But you see, we were children. We never traveled. How did we get to see all these things? We were dreamers. For some of us, especially like probably ladies, you probably might not have done this, but like I said, we played what we call Papa and Mama. We got married as children, as kids. We are under 5, but we are married. Okay, now me be Papa, now you be Mama. We all had dreams. So imagine that I said, X is my wife or X is my husband. It's a dream, but we are role playing. We are role playing what was not real, but we were role playing it, and we acted that script as if it was real. Sometimes in that play, you go and sit down, the young girl will go and make food and carry, look for container, put sand, put stick and stir it, and you test the food, you say, it's sweet. I mean, now, can you imagine, just as I'm speaking about your dream, for some of us who have been here, how do you feel? Do you begin to see that energy? Some of us are smiling because we all did this. It was a dream, okay? But we were young. We're not even teenagers. We're just children. But we started life with dream. But as good as that your dream is, the dream to marry that little girl you were playing with, and some of us got attached to some of the little girls that we had fantasies of marrying them in the future. It was a dream. But let me say this and get this clear, what I'm trying to say here. The dreams you have for your life, the dream you have for your career, the dreams you have for your ministry, if you're into ministry, the dreams you have for your academics, the dreams you have for your business is being affected by your personal capacity. The dreams you have for your life and business is being affected by your personal capacity. Now, as beautiful as that family life we were playing as kids, we couldn't bring them to reality because our capacity had not been developed. So for that dream to play out in reality, it will take years. And you yourself, you will need to grow. For some of us, probably you had people like that you felt attached as probably children or even teenagers, but either you grew, they didn't grow, or they grew, you didn't grow, and didn't come to pass. It means your dream is being impacted by your personal capacity. I'm going somewhere, okay? So I just wanted to stay with me. The dream, whatsoever dream you have, will be impacted by the capacity you have created to make it happen. All right. Now, let me also say, because I understand that we are a praying nation. Nigeria is the praying headquarters of the world. We pray for practically everything. And there's nothing wrong in praying. But while we pray for the many things we pray about, I will also tell you that your prayers are sometimes affected by your personal capacity. Your prayers are sometimes affected by your personal capacity. Now, I'll give you an analogy here. As children, maybe let me say, I mean, I'm married. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and let's say she comes to me right now, and she says, "Daddy, I am praying to God for a life partner. I'm praying to get the man of my dream." She's a teenager. Now, do you think God will answer that prayer? Do you think God will answer that prayer? Let me just have maybe 30 seconds. And if yes or no, what do you think? Let me just see us have a poll here. You have a teenager, probably yes or no. Somebody comes and says, I want to get married. He's a teenager. Not yes or no. Okay. Honorable, yeah. Says yes, God will answer that prayer. Benedict says no, God will not answer that prayer. Stanley says yes, God will answer that prayer. Melody says no, God will not answer that prayer. Someone said he can do say yes and no. That's confusion. Eugene says yes, but not at this age. I like that. No, God will not immediately. Lucy, I like what Lucy is saying here. All right. Bessie says yes and no. Yes, but not now. Okay, Kingsley, the answer may be yes or no because God is not a man. Now you are diplomatic there. All right, let's address this. If you have a teenager that comes and says, "I want to get married," and probably, like I said, some of us we did this as children. We might have even prayed. Truth be told, and there is no wrong answer, but this is my opinion. God will answer that prayer. Okay? God will answer that prayer. But that God answered the prayer does not mean that prayer will happen at that time. So God will answer that prayer, but God will wait until your capacity for that prayer evolves before that prayer gets answered. I don't know whether you get me. So if a child is praying, God, give me a life partner, God will answer that child's prayer. But that prayer is answered, but the child will wait until the capacity for that prayer point develops and God now manifests it. Being answered and being made manifest is two different things. I mean, some of us are Christians. If the Bible will talk about Daniel, it said your prayers were answered, but you see, something was holding it back. So your prayers can be answered, but it's not manifest until your capacity for it enlarges or increases. Now, and I'll give you another scenario here. Now, if you have a child that is probably 5 years old, and we've seen children do this a lot, especially if your parents have cars, they'll go to carry their father's cars and they want to drive the car. Will you, though you love your child, will you give your child your car keys at the age of 5 to 8 to drive it? Can I see your answers? Can I see your answers? Will you give your child your car key to drive? No now. David said no now. Okay, you go no now. Stanley no. Capital no. Yeah, no in capital letters. I like that. Now, that's exactly what we are saying here. That your prayers are sometimes affected by your personal capacity. Thanks, guys. Now let's come back home. Let's come back home. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, let me say this. There are many prayer points some of you are praying. The reason God is not also giving you that thing is because your capacity for it has also not been increased. Yes. Now, when I look at some of the questions you people are sending in, the question also is, has your capacity for that thing you were looking for grown? If you will not give your child your car key at 5, if God will hold the prayer of that child that wants to get married, are you also explaining yourself that perhaps some of your desires and dreams are being impacted by your personal capacity? Are we together on this? I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay. So it simply means for many of us, I don't get this. I don't get this. There are some people right now, if God gives you a car, you will have an accident. It might even be a death trap because your capacity, which is one of the reasons many young persons have died much more earlier, because small money enters your hand, you just want to show off. I mean, that's death. You want to buy a car, you want to impress people, you want to go online. See, it's nothing is wrong with that, but there is time for everything. So in developing your personal capacity, also understand that your prayers are sometimes affected by your personal capacity. There are many things that I prayed for that with a hindsight, later I look back and I say, God, I thank you didn't answer me then, because I would have wrecked my life. Truly, I would have wrecked my life if those things were answered. All God was waiting for was for my personal capacity. Now, do you see the foundation to your prosperity, to your success, to your significant life? In becoming a better person, because as you are becoming a better person, your capacity also will begin to grow. Now, 90% of lottery winners go broke for one reason: capacity. 99% of lottery winners, they go broke for one reason, and that's capacity. Now, you give somebody money that his capacity has not grown into. Why do you think you lead is not coming to just give everybody the money? And they said everybody will qualify for the money if you go through the process. Why don't they just give you the money? Because you will be broke in 1 month. You will lose that money. 99% of lottery winners go broke for one reason: capacity. We've also seen many wealthy men who died suddenly. Their children took over and they lost everything. Why? Capacity. While the father was building his empire, the children were not carried along. Now, it's very important, if you are a family person or you intend to have a family, I'm going to say some things that will strike. Now, it's very important, because why God blesses you, you increase your capacity, you are making money, you are not carrying your family, you will become the income column. Your children will become the expense column. You as a man, you are generating money. You become the income column. Your wife is the expense column. She's just buying bags, buying luxury, buying everything. She has no capacity to produce. You as a lady, you marry a man. While you are struggling, you are hustling, you are doing the things you want to do to put food on the table, the men just somehow are just wasters. I mean, I stayed in Warri, I pastored in Warri, so I'm sorry, sometimes my Urobo brothers come to mind. They just tie wrapper and they just sit there and they are just drinking shepherd. Why the woman is in a full market? The woman is developing her capacity. The man is a liability. So when we talk about becoming a better me, it's very, very important, because it's going to affect your relationship, who you relate with. For some of us, while you are here now, the energy is being pumped, you are learning, you live here, you go back to relate with liabilities that will suck out everything you have learned. 99% of lottery winners, they go broke because they had not developed capacity. You know, I was giving you an example the other day. If you were to see a child, maybe 2-3 years old, give them 20 naira, they'll go and buy biscuits. You give them 100 naira, they buy more biscuits. You give them 1,000 naira, they can add bobo and add cheese balls. And it's again the same level of toys. That's where their capacity has stopped. You will not become more if you don't learn how to develop your capacity. Are we still together on this? All right. Now, I wanted to understand this. Every one of us here, we have talent. We are embedded with God-given talent. Your life is a talent show, okay? I know for some of us, whether you watched it or not, I didn't watch it, but there's something that just ended on Sunday. They said it was Big Brother. It's a talent show. I don't know the talent that was being displayed there. So since I didn't watch it, like I've already told you, I try to curtail what I watch, what I expose myself to, and things like that. So I'm not trying to say whether it was wrong or right. I just know that it does not fit into where I am going to, which is why I showed you last week. We did the vision board thing. Anything that is not adding to that vision, that is not going to be a part of that. I mean, rather than watching it, I can get a film on my system and I watch. I choose my own show. You must be deliberate. But let's come back home. Everybody is on, you are all on a platform, and life is a talent show. And I'm going to, that's why I said I might be preaching a little bit here. For every one of us here, we have talent. And I'm listening to some of you that day and seeing some of you, and I was so impressed because there's so much talent embedded in every one of us. And if I have time, probably depending on how I see the flow, I might show you how to convert your talents to skills, because talent does not pay. It's something, it's another training, okay? But let's leave that. But understand that we all have talent. you might wonder, if we all have talent, how come we are all not winning? Probably like a Lecon. That's what they said the name of the guy that won is. Like I said, I don't know anybody. I didn't vote for anybody. My credits cannot be used for that person. That's personally me. Whosoever did it might not be wrong. It's just showing support. But you also have your own talent show to run. Now, why are some persons excelling with their talent and some are not? Now, let me take a little lesson from one of the greatest books in history and in life that can help us to grow our capacity, okay? And I recommend that book to you. That book is the Bible. And there is a story there in the book of Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to 29. You can write it down. You can go and check it later. But it's an interesting read. Talks about the parable of the talents. The parable of the talents. So some of us understand this story where there was somebody who came and gave talents to people. Okay, and different talents and things like that. So it was a talent show, and different persons were there to showcase their talent. But one of the interesting things, if you read that story, or you've ever heard about that story, is how the talents were being distributed. Now, if you look at I think that was verse 15, and this is the scripture, so you don't need to carry your Bible, okay? He said, and to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. So that's Matthew chapter 25, verse 15. He gave to one person 5. He gave to one person 2. He gave to another person 1. But they are all humans. Why are you not giving everybody 5? Why are you not giving everybody 2? So now we all are in ULEAD. Interestingly, the ULEAD structure is not structured this way. It's structured in a way where everybody will be given 5 Bitcoin. Benson has already written that. Okay, everybody will be given 5 Bitcoin. My challenge is not the 5 Bitcoin. My challenge is that if your capacity does not grow, just like what we just talked about, 99% of the people that things were given to, they lose it, which is why this is very, very critical to understand what you do with what you get. He gave to one 5. He gave to one 2. He gave to another 1. To each of them according to their own ability. So when you look at this, because sometimes like I'm reading somebody's question, nobody's helping me, I have struggled. You see some of your friends succeeding, you see some of your peers succeeding, you are struggling. What am I doing wrong? This life is not balanced. Yes, life seems not to be balanced because some has 5, some have 2, some have 1. So some of us are even looking for our own, okay, as if it has been stolen. Now the question you might want to ask is God not partial? Because I just don't understand. Why wouldn't, if they are all your children, why don't you give it to every one of them? Okay, but the key word here is not in the gift that was given. The key word here is not in the Bitcoin that was given. Let me show you what God simply did. The Lord simply identified the pre-existing abilities in each servant, and he now matched the resources to his or her ability. Let me read that again. The Lord simply identified the pre-existing abilities in each servant, and he now matched the resource to his or her ability. It simply means wherever you are in life now is where your ability can take. That's strong meat. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you that there is a need for your capacity to grow. Wherever you find yourself now, what I'm trying to do for you right now is to create awareness so that you can begin to dig yourself out of the hole to your next level. There is something that one of my mentors that I follow, Robin Sharma, he said, better awareness would create better choices. Better choices will create better results. It means you will not change your result until you change your choices. But your choices are determined by the things you are aware of. The more you get aware of certain things, you will change them. So don't argue. Your mind begins to say, I disagree. That's a problem. It's your mind. Wherever you are now, that is your pre-existing ability, and you have been matched with the corresponding resource, period. He gave one 5. He gave one 2. He gave one 1 according to their ability, what their capacity can carry. So the child that you give 20 naira, the capacity is still popcorn. Increase it is still popcorn. The child that wants to get married, the capacity is not yet. So they match you to that role playing, but it cannot be real because you have not developed yourself into becoming the real image of a man or a woman that will make a partner. The Lord simply identified the pre-existing abilities in each of them and match the resource to his or her ability. When I personally had a clear understanding of this was one of the factors that changed my life. I no longer blame Ajegule. I no longer blame my parents. There is something about me that needed to increase. There is who I needed to expand to for things to come into my hand. Now, some of you are asking for 100,000 naira. You cannot manage 10,000. If they give you, you will lose it. So if I am to give you, I will give you according to what you have done before. Which is why we keep emphasizing, if you want more, what should you do? Become more. Okay, we're going somewhere. Simply what we are saying here is that when you consider what we are looking at here, and to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his own ability, and immediately he went his way, which we've read. Okay, and we are saying God is not partial. The ability of 5 got a resource of 5. Yep. Probably you should write that down. You should tattoo that somewhere. The ability of 5 got a resource of 5. Some of us are looking for more. You are looking for 5 when your ability is 1. It won't happen. They say, "Could it work?" It won't work. The ability of 5 got a resource of 5. Why do you think ULEAD is investing in you becoming more? So that you can handle the resource that is coming your way. The ability of 5 got a resource of 5. I hope this is getting you to think that you should begin to take note right now. Where am I? What are my abilities? Where do I want to go? What are the abilities that will take me there? What got you here will not take you there. The ability of 5 got a resource of 5. If I were to examine you one-on-one, what ability do you have? It's very important. So we're going to take a self-stock of our abilities so that we can attract more. Now, God does not define the size of your life. God does not define the size of your ministry if you're into ministry. God does not define the size of your business. He does not. God does not define the size of your success. It's defined by your personal capacity. Listen, every one of us can be given 5 Bitcoin, And 1 year later, some persons have lost it, some persons have doubled it, some persons have 10x of that amount. It is not God defining the size of your life or your success. It is your personal capacity. Some people will tell you, it's only PowerPoint I know. Oh, what of what? I don't know. You are the one limiting yourself. Now, do you remember a few years ago, and sometimes you still see it, you go to maybe a magistrate court. And I once had an uncle. He worked for the Nigerian army. He was a secretary. The guy was good. I think I remember sometime in 1996 or 97, he typed my project topic for me. Okay, 97, I guess. Also, he typed my project topic. Those days were days of typewriter. Pa, 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 you slam it. Now, why the computer phase was beginning to come, he refused to transition because they were already masters at 200 words per minute. They refused to make a shift. Now, they found themselves being out of job. Then they will go and blame God. Oh God, send me customers. You are using typewriter, other people are using computer to print. It is not God. It is not God. As a matter of fact, most of the place you will see typewriter now is in front of magistrate court. So, who limited him to magistrate court to just be doing affidavit, of which most people are even using computers right now? I did some last month. It wasn't on typewriter. If you refuse to transition from typewriter to the computer age, you have, no matter your prayer point. This is why I said that even your prayers are limited by your personal capacity. God does not define your life or success. It is defined by your personal capacity. How many things can you do in the direction of your dream? Some of us want to go this way. Now, imagine you want to drive, but you don't know how to drive. That's the requirement. What are the things you've got to develop? For some of us right now, you've got to start developing the capacity before you get there. So that once that thing comes, you are already right for it. Listen, sometimes opportunity does not tell you I am coming. It comes and pick who is prepared at the moment. I don't know whether somebody is getting me this morning. God does not define the size of your life or your success. Is defined by your personal capacity. Now, I read petroleum engineering. What has this got to do with petroleum engineering? I had to develop myself. I had to develop myself to learn how to speak. I had to develop myself to learn how to communicate. There are different, you can't just come up from the slum and stand before the king. You must change. Whether you are an Esther, whether you are, who was the other person, a Joseph, you must be transformed. Some of us, we still have the mindset of the prison, and you want to stand before the throne. Your capacity will not work. I see some persons, young people, even chat. Sometimes I have my nephews, they will chat with me, and yo. I said, listen, this is affecting your future. You are talking to an elder, you are using, type it full. If you are talking to an elder, don't do abbreviation. You do not know what one thing can be a bridge to your next level. Nobody's stopping. It's your capacity that is making that to happen. So please, I want you to identify 3 things, write it down. 3 things that you will need to build upon. 3 areas of your life, depending on your dream. We all have different dreams. So I want you to identify 3 things that I know this thing is critical to my success, but right now I don't know it and I will learn it. Like I said, better awareness creates better choices. I'm not saying you know it, Yes, I agree you don't know it. First point is I do not know it. Now that I know I do not know it, but I know I need this thing, identify them. Because it's not prayer point. You will not use prayer point to cover it. Which is the challenge with Africa, which is the challenge in Nigeria. Instead of developing skills, we are raising prayer points. Prayer point will not replace your skills. Let me say that again. Prayer point will not replace your skills. So, guys, what are the 3 skills you need to develop ASAP? Write that down. And everybody's skills differs. So I might want to improve one. I want to go and learn PowerPoint. I want to go and learn this. Everybody has different things they may want to. So you don't copy another person because you may not have the same dream with some other person. Okay? Are we together on this? Okay? All right, Prince. Yes, we're all learning. That's the purpose for this, Prince. All right, thank you. So many a time, God will give you a direction. God will give you a promise, but God will not give you the size. See, I'm not teaching you how to succeed. I'm going to the basics because if the foundation is solid, your success is guaranteed. God will give you a direction. God will give you a promise, but the size is not with God. The size is never with God. The size is always with you. Because they are for some of us, God told me, God told my parents, which again, they God, you see, God is a covenant keeper. God is keeping his own part of the covenant, but instead of doing your own part of the covenant, you are still praying about what God has said rather than doing what you need to do. He says, draw near to me, I will draw near to you. So God gives you a direction. God gives you a promise, but the materialization and the size is up to you. Now, your personal capacity is determining the quality of your life. Your personal capacity is determining the quality of your life. Your relationship. Listen, there are certain things that annoys you, but notice the more you begin to grow, they don't annoy you anymore. It wasn't the problem, it was you. There are certain things that aggravate you, but the more you begin to grow in love, those things no longer. So it has never been the problem, which is why I think it was last week I said the way you view the problem is also the problem. If anything is getting to me, it simply means I've not mastered it yet. You need clarity, because clarity precedes mastery. Write that down. Clarity precedes mastery. This is where I am going to. These are the skills that I need to get there. Now you begin to go to work to master that. If you are not clear in the direction you are going, you cannot increase speed. Your personal capacity is determining the quality of your life. As I begin to grow inside, I begin to know what to watch, what not to watch, what to listen to, what not to listen to, what to begin to join in, we no go agree, or whether to stay away. The quality of my life begins to change because of my personal capacity. I'm just praying that you get what we are talking about here. Your personal capacity is determining the quality of your life, which is why I asked again on Saturday, who do you need to become? Once you can define that avatar, now you can begin to walk. You remember last week we talked about beginning with the end in mind. Now this is who I want to become. Now I begin to go back, and anything that will not align to make that thing come true, I begin to take it out. I begin to increase this on these areas of skills that will make that thing come to pass. Your personal capacity is determining the quality of your life. Now, let me leave that. Let me not jump into most of the thing I want to say. There's a challenge that I see because, like I said, for most of us, especially Nigerians, we're a praying nation. Most of God's people are praying for increased resources instead of praying for increased capacity. everywhere. Increase me, increase me, increase me, increase me, increase me, increase me. I need money, $1 billion. I need 85 million, 30 billion gang, gang. All of them gang. Oh God, oh God. Shake head, shake head, shake head, shake head. Oluwa. Even God is saying Oluwa. You are not answering. He said, Angel Market, stop that person. He's just calling me. I don't even know what to say. Oluwa. You are shaking your head. Most of God's people, most Africans, most Nigerians, they are praying for increased resources instead of increased capacity. So I'm not against you praying. I mean, prayer is key. We used to sing a prayer is a master key. Okay? But you cannot replace skill with prayer. That's what I'm telling you. Don't pray for increased resources. Instead, pray for increased capacity. Somebody will say, why are you saying this? Because you want to grow. But you must grow into that thing that you are praying for. Just like the example we talked about. You are, as a child, you are praying for a husband and you are 5 years old. No. When you grow, that prayer will now be answered. I'll show you an example again from one of the greatest books in history, which again is the Bible. There's a story of a man called Jabez. And the Bible said, and Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, oh, that you will bless me indeed and enlarge my territory. That your hand will be with me and that you will keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. So God granted him his request. That's 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verse 10. What did Jabez pray for? An increased capacity. Jabez asked God to bless him and increase his capacity. Don't focus on the resources. Focus on the capacity to contain the resources. I'm just trying to show you reasons why you should get angry, to bury yourself and grow yourself, to become your best you. People just find out that Melody is changing. People just find out that Amos is changing. People just find out that Davida is, what is wrong with you? You are not hanging out with us again. No, you've defined a path. You want to change. You want that thing to come fast. The faster in fact, if you ask me what is the shortcut to success, improve your capacity fast. If you improve your capacity, that thing that's supposed to take 10 years can come in 2 years, because now your capacity to handle that thing is there. And have you noticed that the blessings don't come by age? You can be 70 and you have not developed your capacity, and you can be 15 and you can develop your capacity in certain areas and you will get the reward of that area. So focus on building your capacity. Stop celebrating your potentials. Young guys, stop celebrating your potential. I'm sorry, because I see a lot of people talk about potentials, unleashing your potential, the power of your potential. I do not have any problem with your potential. I read sciences. And for those of us that read sciences here, if you go back to your physics, you understand that potential is dormant energy. Potential is zero. So the more you are celebrating potential, you are celebrating zero. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 1 million, unless they have changed the syllables, is still 0. So I see a lot of people, they say you have great potential. No, in fact, if anybody is telling you have great potential, that person is somehow subconsciously stalking you. Stop celebrating your potential. Move from potential to kinetic. Hey, science students, you understand me? You move from potential. Potential is 0. Kinetic is where now your potential is in motion, is being converted. That's why I was talking about how to convert your talent. Your talent is potential. It is skill that pays. Stop celebrating your talent. Stop celebrating your potential. Give it kinetic motion. According to the it's in Newton's first law of motion, a body will remain in a place of permanent rest until an external force acts on it. You are there, the body is there, they are celebrating you, you are still there. No, break the initial. It's time to create an initial. It's time to break the initial. Break the initial. Say, no. I can't say I'm still in the same spot and they're saying you have potential. Guys, have you seen that if we are crazy and we understand this, which is why in the same Nigeria people are succeeding. It's not Buhari. It's not your governor. It is you. You have not grown. Stop celebrating your potential. Stop celebrating your potential. Get your kinetic energy up and running. Have you noticed there are people you sit with, when you are done talking with them, your energy goes down? That's a circle of potentials. Why there are people, immediately you finish, sometimes you listen to this, I get your feedback. So Yoma send me some of your comments in your group. You know, I'm not privy to it, but sometimes you just come and say, look at what people are saying. Now, we are putting you on a momentum. And you know, kinetic energy builds momentum. You begin to build. Yeah, the law of inertia. It begins to build. You are up. An airplane does not fly on the ground, but as you begin to move, you begin to accelerate. Before you know, you are tipping. And the next thing, your friends are seeing you in the sky. And say, no mind now. He don't they brag, he don't they show himself. Do not apologize for developing yourself, because it will set you apart. I don't know if you are with me on this, guys. Stop celebrating your potential. Now, as I begin to wrap this up, I would like to share a story, another story. There are so many stories I would love to share today, but for time. But let me share one beautiful story. Some of us might also have read of this story. It's the story of a woman, again, in the greatest book of all time, the Bible. The woman, I believe, was in debt. And he told one of the prophets, he said, I'm in debt, and all those stories. My husband, your servant, is dead, and he had debt. Imagine, man, the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance, but this one died and left debt. So the woman was concerned. The creditors are coming to take the woman and the child and all those things like that. And the prophet said something. He said, what do you have? And the woman says, I have small oil. And that was what she called it. You see, which is why when you take a kind of a personal assessment of yourself, you will get to know what you have. And which I was encouraging you last week. It doesn't matter how small it is, be grateful. As you begin to be grateful to that thing, it can begin to multiply. So the woman said to the prophet, said, I just have this small oil. He said, oh, small oil? He said, yes. Then the prophet said to the woman, he said, okay, this is what you do with this your small oil. And guys, listen to me. He said, this is what you're going to do with your small oil. I want you to go and borrow drums for this oil. And he said, don't borrow small, borrow plenty, borrow a lot. Now, let me pause here to say something. Do not borrow on anything that is not adding in the direction of your multiplication, or in the direction of the multiplication of your dream. The prophet did not tell her, go and borrow Ashoibi, because Ashoibi was not part of her dream or desire at that particular time. What she borrowed was something that was in line with what will help to multiply her dream. An example could be, for some of us right now, you might need to go and borrow some books. You might need to go and read some books. You might need to go and borrow some courses. You might need to go and borrow some training. But some of you walk to some people's house, they have all the Yoruba movie, Abijah, part 1, part 2, part 3. Coming to Newi, part 1, part 2, part 3. Ibuzo 1. And I'm wondering, how does this align to your dream? What the prophet directed her to go and borrow was something that was aligned to her dream. Now, The reason I will talk about borrowing, because I do not encourage borrowing. I don't borrow. I tell people I do not owe, dead or alive. I am not indebted to any man on the face of the earth. I don't owe, I don't borrow. It's a personal philosophy, and I work on that. I like to sleep, and I have my heart, my eyes closed. Nobody knocks my door. Even light bill, nothing. I do not owe anything. That's just the life I've created for myself. Now, because one of the things I will encourage you to do that will help you grow your capacity is you need to get resources. You've got to read books, read a number of things. Unfortunately, when I see many young people, I see a flaw, and let me say that. And if you want to write what I'm going to say, it's not going to come up on screen, but I'm going to say that. If your wardrobe is richer than your library, your future is at stake. If your wardrobe is richer than your library, your future is at stake. If your wardrobe, for some of us, all the fashionista, everything you want, but you do not have a wardrobe, you do not have a library. So for me, I have more than I can read. I have more than I can read. I have more than I can read. And yet I am still attracted to resources. Okay. So I just wanted to drop that in before we conclude on this story. Now, the prophet said to the lady, go and borrow. So what she borrowed was in line of her pursuit. So she went and she borrowed the gallon, the drums. Then the prophet said to her, go into your house and shut the door. Now there's another lesson there. He says, shut yourself in. Listen, guys, if you truly want to build a capacity and create a lifestyle that others will envy, you've got to shut yourself out of distraction. We live in a world of distraction. You're on your phone, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Before you know, the next 3 hours, you are still scrolling. Nothing is added. We live in a world of distraction. You've got to cut yourself and separate yourself from the noisy negative. The world is very, very noisy right now. So he said to the woman, another key is go and shut yourself. For this period you are doing, you lead, people might not see you everywhere. Say, oh boy, they come out again. Don't worry, you will see me later. You will see me later. I think I was listening to a guy, it is Grant Cardone. He said somebody came to him and the guy wants to see him, He wasn't giving the guy the attention. So once the guy now met him and said, what's up? You do not hang out with us anymore. Guy said, yes. I don't hang out with you because the next time you'll be seeing me, you should be seeing me more in the bank. That's a paradigm. That's a paradigm. Shut yourself away from distractions. Shut yourself from anything sapping your energy. Like I said, shutting yourself, it could be certain music that is getting into your soul that is destructive. It could be certain words that are very, very disempowering. It could be certain videos, movies, anything that will not align to you becoming your best, you cut it off. Listen, you are doing personal surgery on yourself. Listen, that's the challenge, because if you are to treat yourself, sometimes it can be very painful. You don't want to give yourself that injection, but this is personal surgery. So the prophet said, shut the door. Guys, can I say to you, my friends, as you leave this webinar, also make a list. People I will shut myself away from. Chukuka, every time you come to the gossip, number one, you shut that person. This TV program that I'm getting addicted to is not adding. I shut myself away from it. Every time I come and let's go to burial, I shut myself away from it. You begin to list the things you've got to shut yourself away from. So that was one of the things the prophet told that woman in that story. Then the woman went in and did according to what the prophet said and got her small oil, which you also have. So he told the son, Ebube, give me 1 drum. it will bring drum. The mother will pour the oil, and the drum will get full. The mother will bring another drum. The mother will pour the oil, the drum will get full. Now, if you go back to read that story, the story says that every time the drum gets full, they push the drum aside. Guys, let me also give you another free probably tip. Never come to a point in your life where you are full. The day you become full, you'll be pushed aside. Yeah. Every drum that gets filled was pushed aside. The day you become full, you will be pushed aside. Which is why there must be hunger in you to become more. So, Ebube brought another one. The mother poured. The mother poured. The mother kept pouring. The same small oil that was not enough was filling these drums. Then suddenly, something happened. Now, let me show you what happened. Now it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said to her son, "Bring me another vessel." And he said to her, "There is not another vessel." Guys, if you can see the last word, can we read it together? So the oil ceased. There's a lot running through my mind right now. As long as there was space, the oil kept flowing. But immediately the mother said, "Give me another vessel." Ebube said, "There is no longer any vessel left." Now, according to this story in this Bible, the Bible is said the oil ceased. The oil did not cease because the oil finished. The oil ceased because there was no longer space, capacity for the oil to enter. Everything you need in your life, God wants to supply, but there is no space. Once God finds out you are full, it ceases. Now, this is in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 6. There is not another vessel, so the oil ceases. The blessing will cease. The resource will cease. The flow will cease. Immediately, you become full. Which again, I want to advise, never become full. It's a pathway to going down. Never become full of yourself. Now, what do you think if there was still vacancy? What will happen to the oil? It will keep flowing. But as long as the capacity of the drum got filled, there was no space, it stops. Can I ask you, perhaps you are struggling because there is no space. You are getting agitated inside. It's creating a negative vibe. No, don't get angry. Create space for it. When you create space, it will fill it. When you create space, it will be filled. When you create space, it will be filled. If something has ceased, it is telling you that you are full. So it's a feedback for you to go and increase your capacity. I don't know whether you get me there. So make room for more if you desire more. Again, like Jim Rohn said, if you want more, become more. If you want more, become more. If you want more, become more. If you desire more, then make room for more, because the oil will stop where you stop. The money will be finished in your hand if your capacity does not grow. These are basics. All right. So as I bring this to a close, let me say this, that you should return back to your regular activity. I don't know what you do for a living, but I want to return back with an understanding that it is time to increase your capacity. It's time to increase your capacity. There are stories in my head I want to share with you. Perhaps some of us, you can go read up the story of a young lad they call David. If you read 1 Samuel chapter 16, there was prophecy on him. You will become the king. But listen, that young man did not become king for a lot of years. He was promised the throne, but you know what? He went back to the bush to go and be washing sheep. That was his current capacity. Do you know who prophesied on him that he was going to be king? Do you know the prophet that prophesied on him, Samuel, that you are going to be king? And yet, yes, 17 years, he was not. It is not the prophecy, it is your capacity. Which is why I said, even your personal words of prophecy coming to you, they are also tied to your personal capacity. What did David do? He went back into the wilderness, went back into the forest, because that was his personal capacity. I mean, 1 Samuel 17 verse 20. But this young man started working on himself, started working on himself, started working on himself, started working on himself. And again, I want to say to you, when a word comes to you in a form of prophecy, it is actually speaking to your future potential capacity for you to be able to put that in motion. You see, David returned back to the bush to increase his capacity. He started taking on lions. He started taking on bears. He started taking on giants, and that gave him the throne. Which was why when he was before Goliath, he said, the God that have delivered me from the lion and the bear. You see, he had a track record. So if talents were to be delivered, at lion, probably they gave him 1. At bear, they gave him 2. At killing the giant, he had 5 to take the throne. So have you noticed that everybody's talent is tied? When you go for an interview, they ask you, what's your experience? Why do you think? They want to hear the story of your lion, the story of your bear, the story of your giant. People just go to for interviews and they say, what have you done? They say, you know, there is no work in Nigeria, I'm home. No. I am teaching is something. I am learning this thing is something. You return back with an understanding. It's time to increase your personal capacity. And let me close by saying this. Destiny is not your problem. Preparation is. Let that sink in. Destiny is not your problem. Preparation is. It wasn't the destiny of David to fail. It's preparation. For some of us, our destiny is it can blind people's eyes if they get to see it. But even you yourself, you are not prepared. You sleep early, you wake anytime. If you know when some of us sleep, I don't have anywhere I'm reporting for work. Oh. Sometimes you got to sleep. No. Like I told you last week, work hard once and enjoy the rest of it. Destiny is not your problem. Preparation is. And with this, I want to wish you great success in building yourself and building your business. Thank you very much. God bless you. And this is Solomon James for today's training. Wow, a lot is a mouthful. Now I will take few questions if there are questions for us to take. And don't worry again, the replay will be, I'll try to get the replay available for us so that we can work on it. Okay, we can listen to it again. We can listen to it again. This is very, very important to me, and I want to believe that you got something out of this. Thank you, Pastor Honoré Essay. Thank you very much. We are still celebrating your birthday. It has not ended, so his birthday continues. Thank you very much. Ofobuike, thank you so very much. Julie Daniel, thank you very much. Melody, thank you so very much. Thank you, guys. Benedict, thank you. Samuel Prince, thank you. Ekene, thank you so very much. Eugene, thank you so very much. Godwin, thank you. Prince, thank you so very much. God bless you. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I'm encouraged to thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I'll open the room and let's take one question or two if there is any. So just hold on. I'll unmute everybody, but please don't don't if you have something to say, then you will go ahead and you say it. Okay. Allow. Okay. So you can unmute yourself if you have anything to say now. If you have any question, any comments, just unmute yourself, then you speak.
All right, sir.
Okay, Pastor Dorede, all right.
It's Amos, sir.
Okay, Amos, okay. I saw Dorede. Okay, Amos, yeah.
All right. Good day, sir.
Thank you very much. Good day, brother.
Wow. My brain is filled.
No, don't let it be filled. You know, if it is filled, we'll push you aside. So your brain should not be filled. There is still space in your brain.
All right.
Okay, so please hold on. Please, guys, mute your mic. Let Amos is on the mic, so the rest of us mute. When he's done, you unmute us. All right, Amos, you have the floor.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Actually, my question is that sometimes personally I want to work on myself, and I have a lot that I, and the major reason I bought those books is to read and work on myself. Sometimes I have a lot of distraction on the way, a lot of social media and other things that distract one from doing things. So my question is, how will I combat this issue? Actually myself.
I'm not getting that. How will you combat what?
Hello?
Hello, Amos. You said, how will you combat what? Hello, Amos. Hello, Amos.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now. Hello. I think it must be your network or something. I'm not getting you clearly. So
is it the one representing us?
Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, I can hear you now. Please go on.
Okay, I said that personally I want to work on myself, and I have a lot of things that I've bought as regards to that. But my problem is sometimes, or should I say most times, whenever I want to read those books, myself, improve myself, like I have a lot of things distracting me. Just like you said previously about social media distracting me from some things. So I have this issue of I don't really want to visit and do that into which I actually want to do to work on myself.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let me answer that, Amos. Thank you very much. Like I said, I was once like you, but we keep working at it. The challenge is that for many times, especially you've bought books, you can get involved in what we call information constipation, where you have so much information and you are not taking any step. Let me tell you, I remember I was in the same situation with you. One thing I did, I had my laptop, too many things. So you open this, you watch this half, you watch this half, you watch one. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think we lost.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, the issue for me is more of hold on. I'm trying to get this up. Just a minute, guys. I think something is All right. Okay, just give me a sec. Okay. All right. So Amos, one of the challenge for me I got then was I had too much information. So what I did was to, for example, get a hard drive, move all your information into that one piece. Okay. And begin with one. How do you eat they tell you how do you eat an elephant? You begin to eat an elephant a bite at a time. So which is what I will encourage you to do, that you eat it an elephant at a time. That's what you should do. You have too many things. So pick one. I understand that. And trust me, what you are saying is real. The distraction is heavy. Again, like you said, like I shared, the lady had to shut herself. You must be deliberate. These things don't happen by prayer point. Oh. You must be deliberate about it to say, I want to shut myself in. So sometimes too many friends waste too many precious time. So it's not everything you respond to. I will not say most is going to happen overnight, but you begin first. Once you achieve one, you begin to gain confidence to do the next one. Don't try to read 10 books at a time. Start to read one. Don't try to watch 3 courses at the same time. Try to read one and just follow it through. Sometimes start with something that motivates you. There are some certain books I carry. The layout, the font of the book is like a Napoleon Hill book or some of those Asian books. They are fonts, but you see, there's a way you look some books, the font alone is interesting for you to read. Now, if you cannot read books, Amos, let me give you another thing. Get them on audios. So whether you are on the road, whether you are washing, whether you are driving, plug your ear and let the audios be rolling. That's another way you can accomplish some tasks, okay, with less distraction. So for me, I do a lot of audios right now, a lot of audios and videos, because I'm watching a video, but have you noticed sometimes these things, because sometimes you stay, after 1 minute, you feel like looking at your phone. Even some of us, while we're going through this lesson, you are picking your phone. Nobody's calling you. You just want to check what is happening. That is distraction. You've got to be very, very intentional about it. If there is, maybe I'll find a way if we can inculcate some training to address what Amos have said. But Amos, reduce all your chunk into mini bits and begin to bite them one after the other. Okay? I hope that helps.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Who else is there?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Wow. So I'm very happy for your lecture.
Thank you, Benedict.
Wow. Sir, my question here is, sometimes parents just like Bible said, we should obey our parents so that our days will long.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you look into it, you see that parents serve as a gravitational pull for the success of their children sometimes.
Yep.
So in such case, how do we balance the two so that our parents will not be grumbling of one thing or the other while you progress in your business?
Now, the question is, are your parents trying to tell you to do what is wrong or what?
In some cases, the parents will like you to be close to them and be settling some of their needs.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Sometimes they put you in a business they wouldn't like you to leave. So in such case, you wouldn't know whether to continue with your parents' business or to focus on your future.
Okay. There are a few things. Again, one of the things about parenting and our relationship with them is the fact that things are evolving. Now, imagine if your parents were doing Peugeot 404. Peugeot 404 does not exist right now. If you don't move to modern cars, you don't have a business. So sometimes there are things as young people we see that our parents don't see. You don't just tell them no. Sometimes try to work things out with them. Let them see it. They may not see it very obviously, When it comes to finances, in probably with finances, taking care of your family, it's something that is very, very dicey. But let me say this: one of the best way to do that is to have a budget for them, so that you are not just open 24/7 to family needs. You will be broke. You are not El Shaddai, you shall not die. You are not the all-breasted one. So they can go to God and suck his own breast and leave your own. So everybody has an allocation. So let me say I have is 30,000 naira I'm going to give for per month, and I give 30,000. So they know it is it's because you are not consistent. If you do not create a framework, then everybody believes anytime they have a need, they jump on you. If there is a framework, they know once I give this, it does not happen because I also have other things. You are going to work around budgeting. Probably most of this, maybe I'll talk to Zioma and understand who is handling some things on finances, because remember I talked about financial intelligence and all those things. These are some of the things that we might need to handle there. So I'll find out who is handling that. If it's something I might want to also handle, but it's very, very critical. So money management is not even a matter of even your parents, even church. Every day, give seed for they do this for they do this. See, it doesn't work that well. I'm telling you the truth. I'm a pastor, but I can tell you everything needs to be aligned. Okay, so work it out with your parents. Work it out with the people. Somebody, Lucy. Okay. All right. So you've got to just structure it in a way that you can give them what you do. Don't let them ask. If you already know what your income flow is, just take what you know is convenient, that will not wreck your business, and give them, and be supporting them with that. Once they see it consistent, nobody will just jump in. And if they jump, you don't have. See, when police catch you, now waiting you get, now they go collect. So if you do not have, they will not collect it. So make sure you come to a position that you give what you have vis-a-vis your business. Because there's a scripture I can read right now for you so that you understand. Let me look, since you've asked, let me look if I can see that scripture. Proverbs 24 verse 7. Well, I can't find where my Bible is here, but let me do this. Proverbs 24 verse 7. Okay, but this is what it says. It says something like, it said, build your business first before building your house. That's what that scripture says. Build your business first. It means it is your business that will take care of your parents. It's your business that will take care of all the other people coming around you. So focus in building your business. If you build them, your business crumbles, you cannot sustain them anymore. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Wow, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, who else? Next. You're welcome. Any other person?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Melody.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Hold on, Melody.
Okay,
Pastor Odoro say, if you check that scripture in is it Message Bible? No, not Message. What this one that is Good News. Good News. Check that scripture on Good News. Because the King James will say, build your field before building your house. But if you read Good News, it says build your business first before building your house. And you know your business is actually representing your field. So it is your field that we take care of. See, this is God's guidance. Listen, guys, this is how I live my life. Okay, I'm not living my life according to the economy. I have a template that I use. Once I see it in God's word, that's how I go. He said, build your field first. My field is my career. My field is my business. Have you seen many people who start to build houses 5 years, 10 years down the line, they're using prayer points to complete the house? May you not start to build a house, you need prayer points to complete. It simply means something is wrong with your field. So it is your field that will fund your house. So if you read that from the Good News Bible, it says, build your business first. When I saw that, I knew where my focus lies. Okay, thank you for putting up that scripture for us. Okay, Melody.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Thanks a lot for the eye-opening, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, so when you were talking, you made mention of you must be transformed when you are building or when you want to build a capacity for a better tomorrow.
Yep.
So my question from here is, does it have to do with your character, relationship with people? That was one. Secondly, on the issue of distraction, and how can you curtail or cope some friends? Because I learned that if you are in line with people that don't really add impact to your life, your friends like that, that you should cope, then you should push them aside. How will you do that without causing an issue between you and some of your good friends?
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's a very interesting question. Your first question was with regards to transformation. How do we
Yes, sir.
transform ourselves, whether it's character-wise or whatever? But basically, how can you become a better? You cannot be better if something is not changing. You only become better. Remember, I said good, better, best. You only become better simply means you have changed, and which is holistic. It could be my character. It could be my character. Remember, I think, I don't know when I mentioned it, I said in trading, patience is needed. So if you are the one that is hot tempered, me, I don't send somebody, I don't send anybody, I don't feel way to, you will lose traits. So transformation, you are the one to identify it. What you are transforming from, maybe from a pupa to a butterfly, might be different from mine. Mine might be anger. I'm trying to transform from being from being angry to listen more. Another person might be transforming from, instead of before the person talk, you don't answer. No, I want to listen more. Another person might be, you just spend money anyhow. Now you want to transform to track your money. So everybody has different areas, which is why I said you go right out what you want to change. 1, 2, 3. So your own transformation would be, what do you think you need to change? Now that is what you are going to focus on. And these things are in line in the direction of where you are going to, because sometimes the things that get you here will not get you there. I have established. So if there is something for you to change, number one, is there a book I can read on this? Is there a training I can watch on this particular area? Is there somebody that have gone through this and overcome? Probably they can mentor me. Then you begin to ask yourself things to get the resources, the tools. And remember, learning is one thing, execution is another. Some of all these things, you will be tested if you have overcome them. I once read a story of a man who went to God and he was praying that God should help him to overcome impatience. He's very impatient. So he said, God, please help me to overcome impatience. And I beg, I need you to answer it now. Now, basically that tells you that he has not overcome somebody. Okay. All right. Because guys, please just sometimes we are Melody. Okay, let me see if I can give you. Okay, so you can speak. So you've got to be intentional in those things to pick what you want to transform and you work on them. Don't try to transform all your life the same time. You will have what we call overwhelm. It will fail. Always pick one area and work. Pick another area and work on it. Pick them in pieces. Listen, whether you are born again, I'll tell you that all things don't pass away the same day. Spiritually they are, but physically you've got to work your salvation out. So basically you've got to build those things. Okay. So Melody, pick, I light and itemize the things you want to work on and go to work on that. Now, when it comes to your second question was with regards to, what was it again?
To friends.
To friends. Okay, beautiful. Now, the Bible says he that walk with the wise will be what? Will be wise.
Be wise.
A companion of fool, okay, will be destroyed. And like I said, my mentor said to me, he said, if you walk with an he-goat, you will smell like one. So I decided not to choose my he-goats. life is built around companies. You must be there is nothing like, no, you think Yoruba would have a proverb, they say 20 children cannot play together for 20 years because priorities change. Now, you do not need to tell them, I don't want you. But you see, for example, now, if I come to you and say, Melody, come, let's go for this party. You say, I have something I'm reading. Tomorrow I come, you say, there's a way you are not pushing me. You are just telling me that there is something you are doing. And if I find out that this baby is not aligning in my own thing, I will leave you. They will be the one gossiping. Okay, say, don't watch, she's pump off and all those things. But you are not. You are just choosing to be deliberate on who to bring into your circle. And let me tell you again, sorry, I shouldn't even apologize because these are the things about life. Jesus had different cycles. He had the 5,000. He had the 3,000. He had the 120. That was a cycle. He had the 12. It was a cycle. He had the 3. It was a cycle. Then he had 1. You know who that one is? John. Okay? So you find out that you can reduce your cycle from 5,000 to 300 and you are relating with everybody according to. Now, I am still relating with my friends, primary school, secondary school, but we have different templates. For example, I'm the vice president of my alumni globally. So I will relate with everybody. You're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a Buddhist. I relate with everybody. But there are things that they know I will not compromise. There are things they know I will not go. There are things I will not do. For example, right now, and I'll tell you again, it mustn't apply to you. This is who I am. I don't do Ashoibi. My father passed on. I didn't do Ashoibi. Because I tell people, you go and so person die, so you can't collect rapper. And I'm walking on the road, and another person, they look me. Now said, you attend our burial. I said, which burial? I said, our uniform is this. That was the day I stopped wearing Ashoibi. I said, let me start wearing what I want to wear, not what they shared. Okay? Now, I would rather give you the money. So, for example, in my circle of influence, they know nobody brings it to me. Even in church, they know nobody brings Ashoibi to me. Because I am clear, we are still friends. So be deliberate with your friends, but begin to form your circle. Right now, you need people that will empower you. So of all your friends, how many of them speak positive? How many of them are dreamers? How many of them inspire you? Begin to draw those ones. As a matter of fact, you can create what we call a mastermind. You get a book and say, can 3 of us read this book? Let's analyze it. Let's watch this thing together. Now you are deliberately creating a mastermind of the people you pull in. So for others, you relate with them on other things. You could relate to people based on church ground. You could relate with people based on tribal ground. Okay? But that is how you've got to select those, especially your friends. And distraction again is everybody is going through distraction. I told you the world is centered around distraction. And let me say this. I don't know where you live, but I can tell you what your house looks like. I can tell you the arrangement of your house. For every one of us on this call, your chair is facing your television. Your chair. Why are you laughing? Is it the same thing with your own?
No, sir.
The way you arrange your parlor or your chair sitting, it is the television everything is focused to. It means the television is controlling how you arrange your settees in your house. And that television is a distraction. Can you see how powerful that the TV determines how you set your this thing? And it's not telling a vision to you. So you can become deliberate. It can be there and I don't watch it. Like I said, I have TVs. I have my own TV on my laptop. I have them on my phone. I have them on my this thing. It will not happen overnight, but begin the process. It started when I once said 6 months I will not listen to news because no news was positive. It was as if I was doing a fast, news fast. You can do a TV fast. And nothing happens. If you break it and you fall, start it again. Don't bring down yourself. Start it again. I'll continue. But you find out that immediately you stop those negative things from coming into your mind. Suddenly you find out that your mind, you just have peace in mind. You have peace of mind. You begin to get hold from your inside. Let me say this as a last point. Sometimes your phone is not with you. You become disturbed. 100 calls don't come. And yet, by the time you go to pick your phone, nobody had called you. You are simply the one disturbing yourself from your inside. Which is why I said, even if calls come, if I want to answer it, I answer it. You don't answer every calls. So you are also a factor in those things. There are many platforms you need to exit. I'm on Telegram group. If I see that people just drop or rubbish stream, drop, they talk APC, talk PDP, talk Buhari, talk Biafra, talk everything, I'm out. It's not adding value to me. Listen, you don't need to impress anybody for being there. And I'll tell you the truth. Whether you're on that platform or not, you will get all the information you need to get on that platform. Somebody will tell you. But now they are telling you without all the drama. They are filtering the news, the exact thing you need. That's how you've got to take it. Okay, it's mouthful, but like again, begin with one and work towards it. Okay, does that help, Melody?
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
All right, one more. Who else? Any last person?
Hello?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lucy. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, man.
So I am so excited. In fact, I was shivering at a point. I like, is it true?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Remember,
Honestly, I am so filled up.
we were supposed to take offering. We were supposed to take
Oh,
offering.
in fact, we have to take this up.
Somebody said it's
Oh,
never
so I'm
shy.
so grateful. I
Thank
am
you
so
much.
grateful. I am very, very grateful.
We thank God.
I have a question.
Okay.
Talking about capacity, you know that most people must have developed a very high capacity. I, for one, as a child, where I grew up, I don't want to mention, but from that place, the moment I become conscious of who I am, I said to myself, I will not live here where I was living with my parents.
Okay.
I left here. When I left here, during holidays, most kids that have left their parents, they will want to come. I don't want to come. I don't want to visit. My mother will shout and say, what kind of girl is this? Instead of me to visit my parents, I will look for a cousin that live in the city to visit. That led me to the course I read, History and International Relations. I wanted to be an ambassador. When I'm walking on the road and I see this Institute of External Affairs student, I say this is where I belong. But over time, so my question is, can present situation or environment reduce one's capacity? Because along the line, you find out that you are feeling that kind of let me compromise this. This one is not forthcoming. Can the present situation, environment, economic situation reduce one's capacity? Or is it a personal, like you said, it is a personal thing? You have to, even if you have lost it, please throw more light on that.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so very much, Lucy, and I truly enjoy your story also. But I think I also had answered this partly last week, but again, I will go back to that. When somebody had asked if your environment can affect you one way or the other, and I said yes or no. But let it also be known, and I give an example again, what I said was a raw example, that if you go to if you have used pit latrine, that the very moment you are in that latrine, first few seconds, the smell will be oozing. But if you stay there for 5 minutes, you can now read newspaper, because it simply means you have acclimatized, you have become naturalized to that environment. Now, in your case, you are not in that environment. You are away from that environment. So going to visit your mother, I do not see it as something contaminating. I will encourage you to do that. If you were to ask my personal opinion, I will encourage you to do that. There was a training I had in mind for this before today. In fact, this morning, everything I've just done, I did it this morning. I woke up, Ozioma called me after 8. Because I was quite tired. I had a very busy day yesterday. So I just tried to put up all this, even though I had an idea. And because there are 8 forms of wealth, and family and relationship is one. and you do not want to, God forbid, your mom pass, that's when you now go to cry. Oh, I miss her. No, you were not there. You will not. I'm just telling you the truth. You were not there. So she's alive. Go visit her. Visit does not mean residence. Now you are a visitor. You are not a resident. Those are two different things. She's still there. My parents were still in Ajegule years after I've left Ajegule. I only went to Ajegule to relocate them after I've built them a house. So, but I was still going. Even though I did not feel comfortable sometimes, especially sleeping there. Okay, somehow something in me had grown bigger than that place. Now, it was that unease that this place is not comfortable for me to sleep. That was one of the triggers to say, if this is not comfortable for me to sleep, then it's not comfortable for them to sleep. I've got to create an atmosphere where I will be able to sleep and the same atmosphere will be okay for them to sleep. That's how I see things. So if it's a challenge, then now you have gotten yourself a new vision to create an atmosphere for them that will be conducive for you to stay if you are to stay. If I go to visit my mom right now, I can stay there for the rest of my life. Conducive for her is conducive for me. I created, like I told you, be deliberate to always create your environment. Now, for you, you have been out of that circle, okay? And which is why it's sometimes when you change a circle, it gives you a reinvention of yourself. You see yourself, you see where you are coming from. But going to visit, you don't need to send a cousin. Go visit them, check them up, let them know you love them, let them know what you are doing. Don't just talk to them over the phone. Go sit down face to face. I don't know where you live. I don't know how far it is from there. If it's the same city, you can go see them. Now, for example, I was living in Lagos. My parents live in Lagos, and I see them once a month because Lagos is a place whereby you can stay 2 months. You might not see some persons because of traffic and different everybody's life. But I just figure I'll just gather my family, take the children. Let's go and see grandpa, and they're excited, and they also want to see their children. So factor that in. Go see your mom. But the difference, like I said, that's a visit. It's not a dwelling place. As long as it's not a dwelling place, it cannot affect your capacity. As a matter of fact, now that you go see them, you might see their health, you might see their this thing, and now it's okay, there's something I want to do. You buy yourself a new dream that spurs you to expand yourself to be who you need to be to help them out. I don't know whether that helps or if you need any clarity. Hello, Lucy.
Thank you very much. Well, yes, I'm here.
Okay, go on.
The area I'm looking at, talking about my parents was when I was still their responsibility in terms of secondary school, being a teenager. That phase has passed. Why I refer to that environment is because I know some of my mates that at the end of the day, that's where they reside till date. That's where they got married. That's where they live. I have this big and very fat capacity mindset. But after school, things are changing. I begin to look. Is it that they are too greedy? I remember I was saying when people are saying they need a car, I am very specific of the car I want. I don't just say I want something that is moving or it's fine. The one I want, you may not like it, but this is what I want.
I like
but
that.
over time, I think because of the country and everything, it's like, should I bring down my taste? Should I bring it? That kind of. That's why I put. Is it maybe a geographical place or something affect somebody's, in as much as I want to bring it down, but I don't feel happy. I don't want to bring it down. But this is what I want.
Okay, don't bring it down.
Lucy, I get you. Houses, but there's one I want.
Lucy, I get you. Lucy, I get you. Don't bring it down. Never reduce your dream. Rather increase the goal. Don't reduce the dream. Increase the goal. Okay. Like I said, so now that I need this kind of house, who do I need to become? Because now as you begin to grow, okay, you will attract that capacity and that resources for that. Don't reduce it down. When you reduce it, even though, like I said, now there are different things here. Remember I said every big dream has a small version. Okay, I can begin where I am with my smallness and I work myself. Now this is the house. Now I'm living in one room, even though I want a mansion. but I am deliberate because I want a mansion. If money comes into my hand, I'm not buying Ashoebi, I'm not buying unnecessary jewelry. I know that these monies are planned towards my bigger dream. That's how I'll look at it. Don't reduce your dream. Stay focused. You are already in the right path. You are attracting it. It will come to pass. Okay. Keep speaking to yourself. Write your affirmations. We'll talk about it. Which is why I told you the other day. I hope you did your dream board, your vision board. Your vision board should contain the specific cast.
Yes, I did. I play it out exactly the way I want. Exactly the way I want.
Oh, I don't know what I can give to you now. Those are the kind of things I hear. It will come to pass. Keep at it, look at it, talk about it. You already have it done. Okay. In fact, I celebrate you because I see it done. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. You've done justice to that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Benedict says a mind activation celebrate. All right, guys. I don't want to take one more. We've stretched this class for today, but if maybe I just see if there is one more, because the replays will be there. If I don't answer your questions, drop them in the replay. It will come and I will address them. Okay. If we have anyone, who else? Who is there? Pastor Nero there. Is this there? Who is there?
Nobody.
Okay, nobody. All right. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. I want to appreciate your time for today. The classes are the replay will be up, and please be informed that the replay is only for 48 hours. If you don't watch it in 48 hours, it will expire. So some of you already see that. If you try to go and watch the other one, you find out it tells you it has expired. So just for 48 hours, watch it over and over, draw your lessons, draw your questions, and we will succeed together. There should be a test. I think tomorrow you should have your test. I'll send the question to Zioma, and he will drop that in your group, and take it up from there. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Truly do appreciate every one of you and that have joined in the training for today. This is You Lead Africa, and we are proud. We are partners for a greater tomorrow. God bless you. See you next month. My session should be next month. All right. God bless you. Yeah. Bye bye.
God bless you, sir.
We'll miss you. We'll miss you.
I will miss you too.